higher television ratings, higher attendance figures. Ladies and gentlemen, that doesn't come courtesy of a league. It comes courtesy of the players that play in the league. And in her case, she was the most popular, which means she could have helped your bottom line, which means you should have seen that from day one and maximized it. But you didn't do it.
Stephen A. Smith has never been one to hold back his opinions. But this time, he didn't just stir the pot. He flipped the whole kitchen table. His fiery takedown of the WNBA's treatment of Caitlin Clark wasn't just typical Stephen A. fireworks, it was a clarion call. At the heart of his frustration was the league's failure to fully capitalize on its brightest, most bankable star. If you stand with Caitlin, drop a CC in the comments below. Let's go.
Hesitant and reluctant and resistant to it. So much so you didn't push for her to be on Team USA. So much so you had people like Cheryl Swoops who didn't even want to mention her name.
Picture this. A player so magnetic, so transformational, that she's filling arenas and shattering TV ratings before even hitting her prime. Caitlin Clark isn't just good. She's the phenomenon women's basketball has been waiting for. And yet, instead of rolling out the red carpet, the WNBA has practically laid out a welcome mat that says, meh. Fans everywhere are scratching their heads. How can a league cry out for growth, then treat its biggest star like an afterthought?
Willing to admit how stupid it was for y'all not to go all in speaking your piece to elevate Caitlin Clark? So therefore, even more attention could have come and y'all could have reaped the benefits? Now you're gonna do it anyway, and I get that, but you see my point?
But Stephen A. wasn't just pointing out a missed branding chance. He was issuing a 5-alarm warning. The WNBA is at a pivotal turning point. If they mishandle Caitlin Clark's rise, they're not simply missing a strong PR opportunity. They're jeopardizing the biggest growth chance the league has ever had. If they continue down this path of lukewarm support, the question won't be what could have been. It'll be what did they just squander?
And everybody talk about other WNBA players not being appreciated. Nobody insulted them. Nobody dismissed their contribution. We were simply saying, despite the contributions for years and years and years, a lot of people didn't care. Fair or not, until Caitlin Clark came along.
And when Stephen A. enters the discussion, it's never mere background chatter. It's a spectacle. His latest tirade didn't just criticize a few choices. It completely scorched the leadership of the WNBA, particularly Commissioner Kathy Engelberg and the league's outdated gatekeepers like Cheryl Swoops, who are acting more like envious siblings than trailblazers leading the charge.
The opposite direction, it could have helped that much and facilitated you being in an even stronger position to get yours. But you didn't do it. You didn't do it. Wow.
Take a look at how the league responded, or more accurately, didn't respond, to Clark's avalanche of accolades. We're talking Forbes 30 Under 30, SBJ Sports Person of the Year, Associated, Press Female Athlete of the Year, Time Athlete of the Year, the list goes on. A generational talent building an empire while pulling the league into the national spotlight. And yet, from the WNBA leadership, silence. No grand campaigns, no league-wide promotions, no "this is our moment" rallying cries. Kathy Engelbert seemed to think being a background player in Caitlin's story was enough leadership for a lifetime. And don't even get me started on how Clark's Rookie of the Year announcement was handled. Other rookies in the past received extravagant celebrations, team events, and primetime coverage. Clark, she got a phone call. Seriously? The biggest star in women's basketball in decades. And the WNBA managed to make her Rookie of the Year moment feel as exciting as a pharmacy robocall. Fans noticed. They were livid. They didn't need Stephen A. to tell them the league was dropping the ball. They were already screaming it from the rooftops.
They were going to let her know she was Rookie of the Year with a phone call in Connecticut during a practice before a playoff game. You can't make this up.
The real question everyone should be asking is, why is this happening? Why is a league supposedly desperate for attention acting allergic to the best thing that's ever come its way? Why the strange passive-aggressive energy toward the player who's bringing the sport into millions of new homes? It's as if they're afraid of success if it doesn't come with the politics they prefer. Stephen A's takedown wasn't just a bold opinion. It was the truth fans and analysts have been quietly murmuring for months, and he didn't just call out Caitlin Clark, he exposed the entire system. This isn't just about one missed PR chance. It's about a league that can't figure out how to handle a superstar who refuses to play by their outdated rulebook.
Elevated television ratings, it elevated attendance, and it damn sure elevated franchise value. But now, something that y'all resisted talking about, opining about, acknowledging.
While sports leagues everywhere are built around sellable superstars, think LeBron James, Steph Curry, the WNBA somehow discovered a unicorn in Caitlin Clark and thought, hey, maybe we'll just let her figure it out on her own. She's breaking attendance records and pulling TV numbers that most women's sports can only fantasize about. And yet the league treats her like an uncomfortable afterthought rather than a once-in-a-lifetime golden opportunity.
In the league in regards to Clark starting with WNBA legend Cheryl Swoops herself.
And that's exactly why Stephen A's criticism hit like a bomb. The stakes couldn't be higher. This isn't just about Caitlin. It's about the WNBA's entire future. Fans are shouting for leadership. They want someone at the helm who understands, who isn't afraid to amplify the undeniable superstar standing right in front of them. Because if the WNBA continues mishandling this moment, it won't just slow growth, it will send it into reverse. Smith didn't rant because he despises the league. He ranted because he wants it to thrive. But success means accepting the reality that a few weak Instagram posts and empty slogans aren't enough. The WNBA needs a strategy, a vision, a backbone.
I said Caitlin Clark, rising tide lifts all boats. As much as her presence was maximized by the WNBA, you players could have done more to assist.
Speaking of weak leadership, let's discuss Cathy Engelbert's latest attempt at spin control. When the commissioner finally appeared on major national platforms like 60 Minutes and CNBC's Power Lunch, fans and players hoped for some clarity, some vision, maybe even a hint of energy. Instead, Engelbert gave the verbal equivalent of a shrug. No urgency, no passion, just a lot of corporate jargon that made everyone wonder if she even watches the games. In her 60 Minutes interview, Engelbert was tossed a soft pitch. What do you think about Caitlin Clark's influence? This was her chance to take a stand, to rally support behind the brightest star the league has seen in years. Instead, she delivered one of the most deflating answers possible. No league is about one player.
About Caitlin a lot, you bring up other rookies as well.
No league's ever about one player. That player could get hurt or whatever. So I think it's just to give recognition that in sports, people watch for compelling content and rivalries. And you can't do that alone as one person.
Translation: we're afraid of putting too many eggs in the Clark basket, which is insane because the WNBA's entire marketing strategy right now should be Caitlin Clark and her teammates. Imagine if the NBA reacted to Jordan's rise with, hey, we're bigger than Michael. Good luck with that. By acting like Caitlin isn't the main attraction, Engelbert and her team aren't just wasting momentum. They're insulting the intelligence of fans who know exactly who's driving ticket sales, game viewership, and water cooler conversations about the WNBA
Basketball. You know basketball? You know basketball. You know basketball better than me. You know basketball than any of the pundits. You know basketball better than most of the men that play basketball. There is no way in hell you just accidentally left Caitlin Clark's name out of that soliloquy that you dropped about the Indiana Fever. Stop it. You know that. Stop it.
While technically accurate, Cathy Engelbert's "no league is about one player" comment landed like a lead balloon. It didn't just sound neutral, it felt dismissive, almost deliberately downplaying the very superstar who has sparked record-breaking viewership, ticket sales, and media attention. Instead of celebrating the wave that Caitlin Clark created, Engelbert seemed to be minimizing it, and fans quickly took notice. Within minutes, social media exploded with outrage, criticizing the WNBA for wasting its rarest opportunity in decades. The cracks deepened during Engelbert's appearance on CNBC's Power Lunch. Rather than addressing urgent issues like player safety, officiating failures, and fair treatment. She resorted to tired buzzwords and outdated marketing lines, rivalries, excitement, storytelling, just the surface-level fluff. It felt like listening to a CEO avoid accountability after a disappointing earnings report. Fans, players, and analysts were calling for something real. Genuine leadership. Real responsibility. Instead, they got a corporate smokescreen. And, at that moment, the gap between league leadership and reality became painfully obvious.
White, one black. And so we have that moment with these two. But the one thing I know about sports, you need rivalry. That's what makes people watch. They want to watch games of consequence between rivals. They don't want everybody being nice to one another.
But this isn't just a PR mess. It's a ticking time bomb with real repercussions. While Engelbert rambled on about rivalries boosting ratings, actual players are out there risking injury in games plagued by inconsistent officiating. Caitlin Clark, who's brought more attention to the WNBA than anyone in recent history, isn't asking for preferential treatment. She's asking for a fair opportunity to do her job without being battered every night. Yet, the league leadership seems more focused on spinning narratives than safeguarding its stars. If they don't address these fundamental problems, the WNBA could end up pushing away the very audience Clark attracted.
The balance, but certainly from a marketing dollars, but corporate partners are stepping up to endorse these players, much more so than they were 5 years ago.
Officiating, in particular, has become an obvious embarrassment. Calls swing dramatically from overly aggressive to mysteriously absent, leaving players confused and fans furious. It's not just about bad calls, it's about player safety. Caitlin Clark excels by pushing the pace and attacking the rim, but with the current state of officiating, she's essentially being set up as a moving target. A prime example, one of the most ridiculous technical fouls in WNBA history, Clark tapping the ring post and getting penalized for it. The video went viral, and fans relentlessly criticized the league for weeks.
Clark gets hit with a technical. After
I got a technical for basically being mad at myself because I missed the three and then I went and hit the backboard and he told me it was disrespectful to the game of basketball.
The question on everyone's mind, would Diana Taurasi have gotten that same tech for the exact same action? Not a chance.
The pass, and Diana Taurasi, they'll count the bucket. And one coming up for DT.
The inconsistency is louder than Angelbert's buzzwords ever could be. The message is clear. There's a double standard and Clark is on the wrong side of it. And it's not just one poor call, it's a recurring issue. Game after game, players like Clark face cheap shots, reckless plays, and dangerous fouls, all while referees keep their whistles silent. Meanwhile, the WNBA leadership continues pushing narratives about rivalries intensifying, pretending that's what fans want. Sorry, but fans aren't tuning in for poor officiating and reckless harm. They're here to watch elite basketball, played at the highest level, and they're growing frustrated with the league's failure to deliver it cleanly.
Thing as a very long-term sports fan, I know is that officiating and refereeing is always at the top of a fan's list, of the media's list. Obviously, not every, they're human.
The dangerous fouls Clark faced during her rookie season weren't just random acts of aggressive play. They were predictable and preventable. Fans watched in disbelief as, week after week, Clark endured punishing hits with little to no protection from the referees. Critics and analysts raised alarms about player safety time and again. Yet, league leadership remained silent, too preoccupied with crafting their next hashtag campaign to actually enforce their rules. Compare Clark's situation to the NBA.
Don't tell me Caitlin Clark gets a special whistle ever again. One call was an ejection and the other was a common foul. Now, let's replay this one more damn time. So I can see right here. This was the exact same damn play. Look, same play. Same play, bro. Look at this. Are you serious? The rebound. Right here. Same play.
Flushed by Williams at
same play.
court.
Now, Grant Williams was ejected for that.
Beyond the officiating mess, the WNBA's inability to capitalize on Caitlin Clark's historic rise is nothing short of shocking. When Clark broke records and packed arenas, fans waited for the league to strike while the iron was molten hot. Instead, what they got was an underwhelming trickle of promotions, slow merchandise restocks, and a baffling reluctance to plaster Clark's image everywhere humanly possible. Clark's rookie season wasn't just an impressive performance, it was a cultural moment. She dragged women's basketball into the mainstream spotlight by sheer force of talent and charisma. And instead of sprinting to meet that moment, the WNBA seemed content to limp along, letting once-in-a-generation momentum slip through its fingers. Jerseys sold out within hours, arenas reached standing room only, and TV viewership shattered expectations. And still, the league's promotional efforts felt half-hearted at best.
Nobody wants to believe that this league could actually be that dense. Professional league, guys. We're not talking about a rec league. We're not talking about even a high school team. Nobody believes that anybody is that clueless.
When a superstar takes a hard foul, the league responds by reviewing the play, assessing fines, and adjusting officiating standards to protect their investment. In the WNBA, a blatant elbow to Caitlin Clark's face barely even registers with the league office. The contrast is staggering, highlighting just how ill-prepared the WNBA is for the increased attention and physicality that Clark's star power brings.
Such an incredible moment on a global scale for our game, for our players.
It's like the fans are absolutely incredible. It's the same when we go on the road. Like there's so many people that are showing up in fever gear. It's really affecting, teams all across our league, which is a really great thing. And, really, I think we're just scratching the surface.
Beyond the officiating debacle, the WNBA's failure to capitalize on Caitlin Clark's historic rise is nothing short of astonishing. When Clark broke records and packed arenas, fans eagerly awaited the league to strike while the iron was at its hottest. Instead, what they got was a lackluster stream of promotions, sluggish merchandise restocks, and a baffling reluctance to plaster Clark's image everywhere possible. Clark's rookie season wasn't just a great performance, it was a cultural phenomenon. She dragged women's basketball into the mainstream spotlight with nothing but talent and charisma. And yet, instead of sprinting to seize the moment, the WNBA seemed satisfied to stumble along, letting once-in-a-generation momentum slip right through its hands. Jerseys sold out within hours, arenas reached standing room-only capacity, and TV viewership broke records. Still, the league's promotional efforts felt lackluster at best.
Fans to this league, people that have maybe never watched the WNBA before, and it kind of takes your breath away at points.
It's not just missed marketing opportunities, it's a lost chance for legacy building. Caitlin Clark didn't simply elevate her own brand, she raised the entire sport. New audiences from college basketball, NBA circles, and casual sports fans flocked to the WNBA thanks to her. She formed a link between sports worlds that had never met before, yet somehow the league didn't appear ready or willing to seize it. Instead of capitalizing on Clark's once-in-a-generation influence, the WNBA attempted to distribute the spotlight too equally, a well-intentioned move but ultimately ineffective. In a sports environment that thrives on standout stars, pretending all players are equal isn't progress. It's self-sabotage. Clark wasn't just another rookie. She was the defining moment. She is the defining moment. And the longer the league resists acknowledging that, the higher the risk of losing all momentum. New fans aren't oblivious. They've seen Clark single-handedly breathe new life into the WNBA's ratings, ticket sales, and merchandise. They've also watched the league stumble over itself, trying to avoid acknowledging her success. And the longer this act goes on, the more clear it becomes. It's not just poor strategy, it's intentional neglect. Meanwhile, Commissioner Kathy Engelberg keeps offering dull sound bites and deflections on major platforms, somehow turning the most exciting period in WNBA basketball into a routine corporate update. If you're a fan hoping for a bold voice at the top, someone eager to shout from the rooftops about what Caitlin Clark means for the future, you're still waiting. What the league needs isn't more hashtags, empty promises, or a participation trophy mindset. It needs direction. It needs leadership that recognizes sports are powered by stars, by narratives, by moments that demand the spotlight, not moments watered down into safe corporate fluff. Caitlin Clark handed the WNBA a golden opportunity to unlock success it has never experienced before. Whether the league is savvy and daring enough to capitalize on it is still uncertain. The WNBA is at a pivotal point. One direction leads to steady growth, filled arenas, skyrocketing merchandise sales, and a significant cultural impact. The other leads to stagnation, a missed chance, and the bitter taste of what could have been. Fans see the choice. Analysts see the choice. And thanks to Stephen A. Smith pulling back the curtain, everyone now knows there's no more avoiding it. So what's it going to be, Kathy? The clock's ticking. If you stand with Caitlin, drop a CC as the GOAT in the comments below. Like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss out. Click the video on screen, and we'll catch you in the next one.